says we're live. You can go to
Okay.
my page. You can go to my page and click share if you want, or do it later. It doesn't matter. I'll do the intro and then we'll get right on over to you, AJ.
Okay.
Hi, All righty. Hi, Facebook people. How you doing out there? This is me again, Linda Marcus Smith. I have nothing better to do but to hang out on Zoom and drive you mashugana. That's crazy. I do this because I want you guys at home, some of you who have your clothes on, to get to know comedians. You know, how are you going to know if you want to stalk them and follow them and help their career and send them all your extra money if you don't get to know them? So this is your chance to kick back, find out who these people are that are funny on stage. Who are they off stage? You don't know till you come here. I have one sponsor I want to mention, and that is the veteransofcomedy.com. You know, Will C and all those people. I'm in that group because I'm a veteran. And if you ever want to hire someone who served our country and now serves up jokes, go on over to the veteransofcomedy.com and check out all the videos. It's a library full. You'll just binge on it. And maybe you'll find me, but maybe not. It's okay, whatever. Just go to veteransofcomedy.com and don't worry about it. Now for today's show. This is what you came here for. Oh my gosh. I am in the Vegas comedy scene and I see a lot of people. I see normal people. You know, I see normal people. He's one of them. He is one of the normal, supportive people in the comedy scene here in Vegas. Whenever I see him, he's always in a good mood. He's always friendly. He's always nice. He's just a normal person in the comedy scene who's funny. Oh my gosh, he makes me funny just doing anything. Naturally, he's not even trying like me to be funny. He doesn't have to try. This guy does not have to try to be funny. And this isn't even his intro. This is just me talking. You're welcome. So now I'm
Thank
gonna
you.
I love you. Oh, you're just fabulous to be around. And you just keep me laughing. The whole show is about you. When I go to the Ochatai restaurant Mike on Thursdays at 11 p.m. Oh my gosh, you are the show. It's like, oh, okay, it's another comedian, but when is he coming back on? Because he makes me laugh no matter what. Now everybody in this scene is going to hate me, but you're really the brightest part of that whole thing. We're so lucky to have you throughout the whole thing. Okay. AJ Rivera started comedy just 5 months ago. Can you believe it? He's so funny already. Cutting his teeth at the much missed Extreme Comedy Club open mic. You should have seen it. It was difficult. And when he says cutting his teeth, he means it. Formerly run by local comedy mogul Billy Bob. From there, AJ has put the work in to not only become as good a comedian as he can, but also to truly push the boundaries of the art form and leave behind an authentic legacy. Look at him nodding, like he looks so bored over there in that square. In the Las Vegas comedy scene, he calls his home. Currently hosting like I told you, the open mic at the Ochatai Cuisine every Thursday night. We are all excited to see where AJ's funny journey will lead him. I am. He's going to go places. You should buy stock in AJ Rivera while you can afford to. Book him, America. He's funny. And now, for that moment you've been waiting for, here's AJ Rivera. Woo!
Yay!
Hi.
Thank you so much.
Oh my gosh, thank you for coming. What's going on in your life? You made it through a pandemic in Vegas, and now you're hosting a mic with Ty Rivera. Look at you. What's going on with you?
Not a whole lot, not a whole lot. Just having a wonderful Sunday and excited to go to Sunday Fun Day tonight at Noreen. Sign up at 7.
Yes, I love that, Mike. I'm gonna go there too. I can't wait. It's a wacky place and it's so fun to do that one.
It's a fun hang. It's a fun hang. Yeah, so I'm just chilling, just excited to talk to you. You
Yeah.
nice lady, man. So complimentary. I can't believe it.
But that's
Make
how
me.
I feel. You really keep the mic even and
Mhm.
at a high, you know? Some
Yeah. Well,
people they don't know how to do that, and you do, and you're just so naturally funny.
it's because I'm selfish. It's because I want to have a good time.
That's the
It's so
way to
important that
do
I
it.
have a good time. I want to make sure everyone else is having a good time.
Yes.
But yeah, I just started hosting, and it's interesting. I'm learning. I definitely have taken some things from all my favorite hosts, like Gabe Choir, and definitely like Gabe Choir is all I can think of right now. But
Getting that Gabe Choir.
no, but like, definitely like seeing someone like Randall Thompson, for instance, like he gets up and, he's doing double duty, he's having a good time. He's running the thing. And that's something that I definitely want to aspire to try and do, is just like have a good time. One of my favorite shows is that old Rodney Dangerfield like comedy hour they did, where it was like his own kind of club and have people up like Sam Kinison and Bob Saget. And I just thought, like, when I first saw it, I was like, man, that's got to be the best job. Like the best thing ever is like to like host something where you can come up and be funny, but then you're like, have your friends on, they're funny, and then you're like sitting off in the back with like a joint and just hanging out and just laughing and giggling at like all this stuff you find funny. I don't know. Seems like a good way to live a life. So
I think hosting is the funnest thing about a comedy show. I would much rather be a host than have to bother with all the trouble of featuring and headlining. Oh, please, not me. I'd rather host. I think you're absolutely right. It's fun to be in charge of the energy and set the tone.
mm-hmm. It definitely gives you a license to be the life of the party, for sure.
Yeah. And the other thing I want to commend you on, because that's what old people do. I would like to commend you on giving me the best intro that I get in Vegas.
That can't be true. That can't
It's true.
possibly be true.
It's true. I can't, like, when somebody says, "Oh, welcome to the stage, the lady that sucks dick in the parking lot." And then I go up on stage and I'm like, "Oh, how many men are gonna want me to suck their dick tonight?" And
That's
that's
a
what
lot
I'm
to live
thinking.
up to. It's a lot to live up to.
And I can't think about my jokes. I'm thinking about,
Yeah.
I'm sidetracked. So when you do an intro, you're talking about how wonderful I am. And like the other night when I was there was a couple tables full of people at the bar, table full of people up front. And the way you introduced me, it told them, here comes somebody you need to pay attention to. And I'm like, you didn't need to do that for me. You could have said, here comes another Schlemiel, Schlemazel, Halsenpfeffer, that just like but you made them turn around and pay attention to me. So thank you.
Well, you're very welcome. You're very welcome. I try and do that for everyone that goes up. I try and, get the energy going so that when they come in, they're right in the crest of like, a good vibe, so people are like, all right, like, let's kind of check out what this person will want to say to us. So definitely, like, I try and do that for everyone, for sure.
Yes, I love
It's,
it.
I think it's because, like, as a open micer myself, like, I just like, I feel like I host and introduce the way, if I was at a place, like the kind of thing I'd want to see from a host.
I love your hosting. I can't say enough good about it. I've talked about you
You and
behind
Ryan
your
Barassa.
back. What?
You and Ryan Barassa. Just showering me with the compliments. It's so nice.
I would like to time travel with you back to when there was little AJ. What were
Okay.
you like growing up in your family? How big a family do you have? When were you funny? Were you funny?
I don't know if I was ever, I don't know when I started being funny, but I know that like, um, I always thought certain things were funny. Like I always found things funny to
Mhm.
myself. And then I don't have a big family. I'm a child of divorce, and I definitely moved around a lot, and I don't talk a lot to my relatives. And there's a lot of tension in my family. And when I think for anyone, when you grow up in that kind of environment, it's very natural to want to be goofy, to want to be silly, to want to say something to kind of like break that tension, like when people are arguing or fighting, or they're just upset and having a bad day, and you put like the French fries in your nose, you're like, look at me, I'm a walrus, like you do silly stuff like that, so I think that maybe has something to do with it. And then I I don't know. I've always appreciated comedy for that too. Like comedy is an escape. It's a thing that can get you away from hard situations, from how hard life can be. And so a funny movie, a funny play, a funny comedic special, like that sort of thing, to get to watch that. Even like being a kid, you'd watch late night, when it was like still relevant. You try and like sneak in like a Leno or a Letterman. Letterman was my favorite. And it's just like a chance to laugh and not think about how crappy your day was. And so I've watched comedy for a long time. I've been a big comedy fan of all kinds of stuff. And then I would say that once I moved to California, I for just naturally just started getting into more like creative things out there. And that definitely like kind of started the like creative process for me. Like, okay, like I can start to put things out in the world that like I think are cool, or I think are neat. That's like I made this, so that would be like the genesis of like my creativity and like what I think is funny.
That's fabulous. So, when you first got on stage a few short months ago, which watching you, I would think it's more like 5 years or more, and it's
Oh,
only a few short months, where did you go the first time, and how nervous? How did it go the first time? I got to know these
ooh,
things. I'm a baby
it's
boomer.
I just posted the YouTube video on my Facebook. The first time was at Extreme Comedy Club. I just happened to be like looking for open mics just to see what was going on. I think I joined the Las Vegas comedy open mic page, the group thing, and I just
Mhm.
was like perusing it, and Extreme Comedy Club came up, and it was 10 minutes from where I lived at the time. And I was like, gosh, this is just so it's right there. It was like on a good day too. I think it was Sunday, it was on Sundays. And I was like, she's got the day off. Like, so it was like a no brainer. I was like, I have to go and try this. So yeah, I went to Extreme Comedy Club. I was so nervous. I had some things memorized. I thought I had 5 minutes figured out, but I absolutely did not. Um, I I brought a friend with me, so I was like even more nervous, kind of maybe because I brought the friend with me. And then I went up there. I didn't take the microphone out of the microphone stand. I just left it in there. And then I was like this with my shoulders up, and I just was like, "Hey everyone, how's it going?" And I just like like sped through all of my stuff. Didn't wait for any, stepped on all the laughs, and got to like I think 2:45. It was like, Carlos, how much time do I have? And he was like 2 minutes 15 seconds, and I was like, oh no. And so then like I had a few more things memorized, and I got through that, and then And then I got off the stage, and then I was like, okay, I'm done. I remember when I got there, that's what gave me my Sam Lundstedt story. When I got there, first person to see me was Sam Lundstedt, who we all know and love. And he saw me, with my like deer in headlights, look like, oh, this guy doesn't know what he's doing. He was like, hey man, you new? And like, I was like, yeah, I don't know what I'm doing. And he was like, oh man, it's cool. Like, here's the list. Like, you should like maybe sign up in the middle and everything. And I was like, all right, cool. And I signed up in the middle. And then he's like, yeah. And he kind of like, showed me the ropes a little bit. And then I remember I thought, okay, like as it started, saw people going up. I was like, okay, these are all the beginners. Like, okay, I signed up at the end of the beginners. And then after me, the veterans are going to come in and just crush this room right now. And I'm going to have to go home and just rethink this whole comedy thing. And then after me, everyone was just okay. And I was like, okay, I get it. This is an open mic. We're all beginners right now. We all like, especially like, a lot of people had taken a break from the pandemic. So a lot of people were just coming back and like starting over almost for some of them. So it kind of made me feel more comfortable actually, like to see that we were all like kind of like starting out at the same time. And then Chris Waldeck came in and I thought, okay, here we go. This guy must be like some like I must not have seen him on tour or something. Like this guy's gonna be just this crazy. And then Chris Waldeck did. And I was like, okay, like all right, like because I remember he came in late and they're like, no man, come in. They were like, they knew him obviously, like get on this list, like let's put you up, man. And they got him. They were really excited to put him up. And then I was like, okay, all right. They're just happy for people to be here. That's cool. And so the next week, I just worked on material. I was like, okay, I kind of get it. One-liners aren't going to get me there because I had just a ton of one-liners.
Really?
Yeah, a ton of like stupid, silly one-liners.
I want to hear them all.
I had one that was like I had a friend who came into town from Chicago and he brought some weed. And I guess Chicago's dangerous because we went to grind up the weed and there was bullets in it. I had one, my goldfish Dorito got COVID. And I asked the vet what I should do. And he said, take him out back and shoot him with a tiny spear gun. Stupid. So stupid. I think of it. I did have one that I'm excited to bring back. I had a Father's Day joke that I just rewatched it, and I was like, all right, I'm gonna bring it back for Father's Day. But it's like shout out to bad dads, especially God, Father of Jesus Christ. And it's like 10,338 chapters in the Bible, not one about paying child support. Or bailing your kid out of jail. I was like, all right, that's not bad. I bring that one back for Father's Day, maybe. But I sped through all of that and just like so uncomfortable and got through. But then the next Sunday, I had like more long form stuff. I like actually like started to write out really put some work in to writing out some stuff. And I remember I was like, all right, let's talk about relationships. And I started going through this like bit about this like girl I had taken out and she looked like goth Sasquatch. And like, I remember Carlos like looked, I remember like Carlos like looked over and was like, wait a second, is that the same guy that was here last week? Like, and that was kind of like a little bit of a boost in confidence. I felt like that he just noticed like, okay, did this guy just totally change what he's doing and like actually try and do something good just now? So, I mean, it wasn't good. I just felt like he noticed that I tried to do something good. So I was like, okay, I feel like I'm moving in the right direction now. And then I just been working on it ever since.
That's so great. So how long have you been in the Vegas area?
2012.
Wow, long time. And what's your day job? I don't even know.
You don't know?
No.
I am a printer by trade. I print large format prints. Right now, I have been working the last few years at a wonderful company, an amazing place for the very prestigious Peter Lick. He is a master photographer. He has galleries here at the Fashion Show Mall, Caesars, and everything, and then all over the world as well, like Hawaii and London. He is pretty amazing. He's got a picture in the Smithsonian called the Phantom, and so he's world renowned. And we print all his pictures here at his home base. So we print them, we produce them, and that's what I do.
And his name is Lick.
Yeah, L-I-K, Peter Lick. It's
Okay,
I believe
different.
it's I think it's German, but he's actually from Australia.
Wow, that's super cool. So your actual function is printer?
Yeah, I print, yeah. On big machines, big printing machines.
Wow. They haven't wound up making the printer machines small like this yet, huh?
Well, I mean, you could make them that small, but then you want a big picture on your wall, so you'd have to like figure out a way to print it that small, then rehydrate it like a Back to the Future pizza somehow, so.
It'd be difficult, yeah.
But I like where you're going. I like that you're a futurist. You're thinking about new technology. That's how Tony Stark.
I'm the boomer that wants to save the world.
I like it. I like it.
So tell me what you're trying to accomplish. Are you married, single? What's the deal with you?
I am divorced. That's what brings me out to Vegas. Was a very wonderful divorce.
They're all wonderful, aren't they?
Oh,
I'm single too. I'm single from a divorce in 1980.
What? That's before
everybody said, "Oh, you're so beautiful. You're not going to be single long." They were wrong.
Really? Really?
Yeah. So you've been single how long?
Since my divorce was in 2015. So since then.
And do you have children?
I do. I have 2 children, Antonio and Leonardo. Yeah.
Wow. You go for those really cool names, don't you?
She is my ex-wife is Italian, and so we were trying to go for something that sounded both Hispanic and Italian.
Very good. Very good. Yeah. Well, so now how old are your boys?
I don't know. I'm just kidding. They are 12 and 10.
Nice. Those are good ages. Nobody ever says those are bad ages unless it's 2 years. Yeah. And they live in what city?
They are in Rhode Island. I don't know. I don't remember the city, but they are in Rhode Island. They took the road to Rhode Island. They were in Huntington Beach, and then they moved to Indiana, and now they have moved to Rhode Island. My ex-wife is a phlebotomist, and so she often, she's had to travel for work. So she's moved twice now to get some good phlebotomist opportunities,
Yes. So hopefully in the divorce, she didn't stick it to you.
Oh boy, did she. Man, she got all the cool REM CDs. We're still kind of bummed about that. So, because like I didn't even think she liked Michael Stipe, but
Oh
whatever.
my gosh. So you're in the comedy scene. You do this printing thing, like you take something like this and put a t-shirt on there and then blow it up so it takes up a whole wall or something like that during the day.
Yeah, okay.
and then at night you come out at night as the funny man, but at work
freaks come out at night.
And at work, can you really be funny?
Yeah. Well, no. My direct supervisor, he probably doesn't appreciate it at all. But my other bosses, like, they don't see me as much as he does. So, so I like to joke with them sometimes. I'll throw them a couple and they like to hear sometimes. I don't really like, so where I work is there's a dark room, and then there's an office that has to stay closed because it's a clean room essentially to keep the prints clean. So I don't really interact with almost anybody for most of my day, except for my direct supervisor who handles all the graphics part of it. So yeah, so it's like we like in tandem we'll like run the print department, and then so it's like just me and him basically all day. So he's probably sick of my comedy, which is why he doesn't come to any of my shows or open mics.
These people need to find out how funny you are.
I think my work's gonna come. I have a show at Artifice on the 30th, so I think they're gonna come to that.
Oh, when is the show at Artifice?
The 30th.
Yes, awesome. So what are you trying to accomplish in your personal life, and what are you trying to accomplish in comedy life during your life?
In my personal life, I would just like to I don't even know. I would just like to like not be, I'd like to be happy, right? Like I guess in my personal life, I just like to make it to the end just a little happy. Like I just like to enjoy life. You got to really try and just take every day for what it is. And I really just think like, there's so much stuff can make you feel negative, and it's important to like recognize it and remove it so that you can try and enjoy things, enjoy music and art and everything. Because I think that's the important stuff. So for like my life, I really just try and just keep the bare minimum of existence, I feel like. For comedy, what do I want to accomplish? Like I would just like to just try and just get to whatever level I can, and just get to a certain point where I could at least just be like respected by my peers. Maybe is too much. I don't know. Is that too pretentious or too much to ask for, to be just like respected?
You got my respect already.
It'd be nice. It'd be nice to just like, no matter what comedy, where I end up with comedy, in terms of like even just like show business in general or whatever, it would just be nice like to one day just know that like people kind of dug what I did. Like that'd be cool.
Yes. What are some of your interests away from comedy and away from printing work?
So I used to be in a band. So I do music, and then I also paint as well.
Okay, talk to me about both.
Okay, so painting and art, visual art, has always been a love and passion of mine since I was a little kid. I've always loved comic books. And then I learned about Vincent van Gogh like very early in life. And it really like inspired me. And so I've always tried to like create some sort of visual art to express myself. And so I've been doing that for a long time. I don't necessarily do it to like sell it or anything or to show off. It is more just for me. I like that kind of like idea that like one day maybe people just find all my canvases and just like decide like they're good. But like for now, I just kind of just do it just to like, just to have them. And then my music, I started in high school. I was living in 8th grade. I lived with my dad, and then that ended terribly. So I had to very quickly move back in with my mom in Palm Springs. And I went to go register for high school, and they were like, well, you can only do 2 electives that are open. And I was like, well, I want to do art. I want to do like painting and stuff. They're like, that's not open. And I was like, okay. They're like, you could do photography. And I was like, what about photography? My mom was like, no, I'm not buying you an expensive camera. She's like, what are the other two? And then it was theater and choir. So I ended up being in choir and theater, and that made me really like want to be in a band so bad for some reason, just doing those two. And then sophomore year, my sophomore English teacher, Mr. Stockwell, was going to try and start a punk rock band, but the school wouldn't let him. They're like, punk rock's all about sex and drugs and not always rock and roll. So that's not, and so he was like, fuck you guys, I'm going to start my own band. So he started a band with like me and 3 other kids in high school, which I don't think he could get away with these days. but we did it then. We all had guitars and drums and stuff. We'd show up at his garage and just were practicing in this band called What in the World. And I fell in love with music. I've been doing it ever since, and up until about 2017, when my last band broke up. I like it kind of gave me like creative PTSD. So I kind of just like didn't do anything for a while after 2017.
So
But
you're a guitar, you said you're a guitar player in the band.
Yeah, so normally if in a band I play guitar and I sing.
Nice.
But I also play drums, and I also play a little keyboard.
Gee, you're so talented.
Thank you.
Yeah. Do you have aspirations to do more music in the future at some point?
I mean, I don't think so. I think I took it like as far as I could in terms of like my skill. And then I mean, I don't know. With music, like it's a lot like comedy, where it's like you should have something you want to say. And I mean, like I did, my last band was very much like a fun, silly band where it wasn't necessarily like a message or anything. And so it's like I got to do that. And so I don't, if I had an idea of some sort of concept of some sort of music that I want to do, then I would definitely get back into it. But for now, I've kind of set the music aside.
Super. So do you have aspirations to go on the road and do spots around the country and open for people? Or do you
That'd
want
be kind of cool. That'd be kind of cool.
Yeah.
I don't know about aspirations, but I would definitely not turn down any opportunities. But just, I think right now, I mean, God, that's so much in the future, you know, because I mean, honestly, like as complimentary as like you've been, I still feel very much like I'm a beginner. And so I really am every day just trying to like just work on it. I really don't think I'd really be there for like another year and a half probably before I'm really genuinely trying to reach out and like book spots like in other states and whatnot. Yeah, probably another year and a half.
I know, just as encouragement, I know this one gal in Philadelphia, and she was an open micer, and she started doing guest spots, but she really loved hosting. So she put herself on her own little tour and went to every state in the country, even Hawaii and Alaska, and hosted in every state in the union.
Wow.
And she came away such a strong host. And when you're hosting, you know, like you and I were talking about, you get to be the reason why that the mic or the show is good. And you also get to so much opportunity to do so much time and come up with so much material.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. So. I think so. I think hosting is a good opportunity, not just to like sharpen up your skills. Like what I like about hosting is you really need to be like quick in the moment, like funny in the moment. And I feel like that's one of my biggest weaknesses is like, I don't think of myself as quick-witted. I think I have to like really work on thinking of what's funny. And so it's definitely a way to sharpen that skill. But then I think more so for hosting, my biggest draw to it is just the ability to hang out with friends, like the ability to like hype up my friends. Like I love building, like, you know what I mean? Like, I just love being there for them. And I love like telling people like, this person is special. Like, you guys get ready. Like, this person is a good friend of mine. And I think they got something interesting to say. Like, get ready. Here comes Linda Marcus Smith. Like, so I just like, it's just like a cool friend thing too, is what I really like about hosting.
And I just can't wait for you to introduce me. And I notice the way you introduce, you're not just doing it for me, you're doing it for everybody in some special way that they are interesting, and you make it authentic and people believe it, and then they pay attention to the comedian. It sets the comedian up to succeed.
Oh, I hope so.
I'm so glad that you're a positive influence of a good host, because there's a lot of hosts out there that go, okay, your next comedian is Linda Marcus Smith. Welcome.
Yeah.
I'm like, you know,
No,
hello.
I'm happy to be there. Yeah, I'm real happy to be there every time.
Yeah, I can feel it. I can feel it. What's some funny things that you've seen in and around comedy in your life or in your career of comedy that crack you up?
Funny things. I don't know. I mean, it's so many, it's so much. You know what, one of the funniest things was you know, we had that thing Sunday for Cameron Ramirez, who just passed away. And I'm really gonna miss him. And he was like a really special guy. And that night really made me like commit to like trying to be, you know, more like him, you know, to be more, trying to be better every day and just be someone who cares about people. And I just was like really thinking about it. And I just was like, I had to go outside and like take a little cry for myself. And then my friend Trevor James saw me. Trevor James came over and he just listened to me kind of just cried out a little bit. And then like, you know, I was just saying like, you know, but you know, I'm sure tomorrow I talk about doing better and changing. I'm sure tomorrow I'll still be eating donuts and everything. I don't know. Maybe I should, you know, be true to myself and eat donuts and not diet. And Trevor looked at me, he was like, well, I don't know about that. Dieting couldn't hurt. And he said it in such a funny way that I instantly just stopped crying and started laughing. And I just think that's why we all do this, I think, is like to take the pain away, I think. And so that was so funny. That was so couldn't hurt, AJ. You right, Trevor. You right. So that I love that. I don't know, like it's always funny. It's always funny stuff.
I'll say some names of people in the Vegas community, and you tell me if anything funny has happened with regard to them that you've seen.
Okay.
Ty Rivera.
Ty Rivera. What's the funniest thing I saw about Ty Rivera? Ty Rivera. I'm trying to think. Probably like oh god, hanging out with him at his house with his dog, and then seeing him joke about being jealous because his dog liked me so much. Okay, BJ. Okay. Oh, I do love Ty Rivera's wow. I fucking I'll have the stories just playing. It'll get to him and I'll just hear wow. It cracks me up every time.
When he's driving by the police and he films it.
Wow, boys. And I do like his
How about Billy Ford? Anything
Billy
funny?
Ford. Oh boy, Billy Ford. Billy Ford pulled up to our show at Copacabana and he pulled up like right to the front, but I thought it was like I thought it was messed up. The handicap parking is like in the back. It's not in the front. And I was like, what is up with that? So when he pulled up to the front, I was like, hey man, sorry, handicap parking's in the back. And he was like, it don't say handicap, motherfucker. It says Billy Ford. And he fucking went, parked in the back. That guy, I love that guy.
How about Mike Tran?
Mike Tran, oh my God. We did a swapping sets thing, a swapping sets night at Happy Earth Market. And Mike Tran swapped with Trevor James, and he went up there in an afro wig. And I'll never forget Mike Tran. Mike Tran got to a point where he's like, Trevor, what are some of your jokes? And Trevor started feeding him his jokes from the audience. And then Mike Tran's like, oh, that's right, you play tennis. So I love tennis. I know I look white, but I love tennis. And I was like, what does that mean? What does that mean, Mike Tran? I look white, but I love tennis. In an afro wig.
We both love Sam Lundstedt, and he's featuring tonight, like you said, at Noreen's.
Yes.
Anything funny about Sam Lundstedt?
Oh man, Sam Lundstedt. I will say that guy is more layered than you would think, you know, like maybe more than he would think. He's got some stuff that I think like is so funny that hits so hard. Some stuff that like he doesn't do anymore, but like his impressions where it was like an impression from a movie, right? So like I don't know. I don't know if you'd hate that I'm breaking down his joke for him right now, but like I love it so much. The concept of like he's like, hey, do you like Die Hard, right? You'd be like, you like Die Hard? And you'd be like, yeah. You'd be like, you know Bruce Willis in Die Hard, right? And you're like, yeah. And then he'd do an impression of a fucking auxiliary character that did not matter in that movie. That was not Bruce Willis. And he'd be like, yeah, that was that guy. That's a funny bit. Yeah, that guy. I love this thing he does where he thinks, where he goes, like I love that shit.
Oh my gosh. What is the weirdest, scariest, or stupidest thing you've ever seen around comedy that you like feared for your life, or you were wondering what was going to go down? How was this going to play out?
I don't think anything except Roscoe kind of reminded me of it last night. Me and Roscoe a couple times met after the Stratosphere show, the LA Comedy Club show. And we met at the parking lot at the McDonald's that's like right down the way from it. And we must have stayed in that parking lot eating French fries and doubles like till 9 in the freaking morning, like just from like 11 o'clock at night, just talking comedy till 9 in the morning. And just like the amount of vagrants that just approached us and just like fighting with each other, like definitely, like we definitely risked it for the biscuit for sure. We're like, doesn't matter, we're doing this, we're talking comedy till the sun comes up.
Roscoe Witherspoon, oh my gosh, can you do an impression of him?
I'm not gonna do it. I'm there. I can't do it. I'd have to hear him again.
He's like, a character.
Repo Rodriguez. Y'all heard of him? He when Roscoe says his name, and I think it's a regional thing of where he's from. But when Roscoe says his name, he says it the O like an A kind of, and he says Rasco almost, and it sounds a little bit to the untrained ear maybe like Australian. I feel like he's always getting like Australian or something, right? And so people think his whole like Arkansas Southern thing is an act. And I think it's the silliest thing to think about someone. That kid is so young. If that is an act, he is the Daniel Day-Lewis of our time. That guy is so committed to this bit. Like, and he is able to nail it better than any American I've ever seen. And so one time I was at a comics helping comics thing, and there's some other comics there, and they're like, no way, he's from there, no way, it's gotta be an act, it's gotta be. And I was like, all right guys, because like they knew I'd hung out with him for a while, and I'm like, all right guys, I'm gonna tell you, he actually told me where he's from, and they all like shushed and then like got close, like, oh crap, okay, where is it? And I'm like, he's from the past. He's from 1776. And they were like, you asshole. I was like, sorry, guys. You guys are dumb. I don't know what to tell you. Why would he be from anywhere else? But yeah, I love that guy. Roscoe's definitely one of the outliers that puts in so much work every day. He thinks about comedy in an analytical way. He's breaking it down all the time. He's listening to his sets, tweaking them every time to try and figure things out. He is a student of comedy and a fan of comedy. Like, he's a fan of all kinds of different comics. Like, that guy's gonna go somewhere for sure.
He can talk about one topic for 10 minutes.
He can. And it's interesting too. You want to hear, you want to know what's going on for sure.
Yeah. And he does. He commits to the bit.
He really does. And like, I love his physicality. He's always been good with the physicality. His stage presence is, you can't almost match it sometimes. It's like, he's pretty good. He uses the stage. He's got like the thing with the stool. He loves to use his stool for part of his stuff. And it really does add to what he does. It's he's good. He's really good. In 10 years, that guy, who even knows what he's going to be doing, movies and stuff like that. So
yeah, he's so fortunate because he has mad skills. And
he's got his whole life ahead of him. So
yeah, and he really connects with everybody in the audience. Everything he says is relatable to everybody, and everybody in the audience feels like they're a part of whatever he's doing on stage.
It's because he's a genuine, authentic person, and that translates. That he's like happy to be there. He's giving you his authentic self, like that. You could tell as an audience member, like, all right, this guy's legit.
Yes, it does make a huge difference. What's the dumbest thing, without saying names? What's the thing that you wish would not have happened?
The thing that I wish would not have happened.
And then I'll let you go pretty soon here.
I wish would not have happened is, I wish I would not have won the roast battle with Parker Tighe.
Really?
Yeah, because like I mean, that's my dumminess. Like, so Parker invited me. He was like, hey man, you want to like be my roast partner? And I was like, sure. And then I thought Parker was going to do the thing. Like, see, I thought roast battles work because I've like seen some roast battles. Like, I've like looked into them. And I thought like, you know, comics typically, you know, your friends, you meet up, you give each other like some, not material, but just some stuff to work with, like some information, right? And then you go back and you write jokes about it, right? Like about your dead dad or your fucking I keep swearing. I'm so sorry. About a girl that broke up with you or something, like something, like, and so, but then I kept asking, like, hey, man, tell me something about yourself. And he kept saying, oh, you want me to write your jokes for you? And I'm like, oh, no, this guy's taking it serious. And then I start to get in my head, Linda, where I just was like, okay, watch all the Tanner, Ross, all these guys are just gonna like start helping him write these jokes, and he's gonna be writing all these jokes. They're probably deep diving on my stuff, and he's gonna come up with 3 of the hardest zingers I've ever heard in my life. So then I freaked out and I deep dive on Parker's life, and I watched his podcast with Tabloid. I crashed that pretty much. I watched his podcast with you, the podcast that he did with you. I watched that whole thing. And
Sorry.
Dude, it was good. It was good. Gave me a lot of good inspirato. And I Googled Parker, like, dude, I deep dived on that guy. So when I went to go roast battle him, this guy had 3 very lovely one-liners. Parker had 3 very funny, very lovely one-liners, real quick, real easy, and I just like did bit after bit after bit, where I was like, "You're so Irish, you potato! Your mom, she drove you to your comedy. Oh my God!" It just unleashed on that guy. And then they're like, "AJ won," and I was like, "Cool." And then everyone's like, "Yeah, but you didn't really do it like how you're supposed to." I was like, damn. And I was like, dude, Parker's not my friend anymore. But then he was like, it seemed like he had fun. So I guess that's the dumbest thing. That's the dumbest thing I ever where I was like, and then my favorite was like, I told Tanner, I'm like, yeah, I just thought you guys would. He's like, yeah, that's the thing, AJ. No one's thinking about you. It's like, you're right. You're right, Tanner.
Tanner has a real way.
He does.
Oh my gosh. He was hosting at Wise Guys my first time there. And I went up to him and I said, hey, Parker. And he goes, I'm Tanner. I'm like, oh my God, I'm so dead meat right now.
You goof.
I'm not saying they look like, I don't want to say that. I just pulled out the wrong name. We do that. Oh my gosh. Well, you've been just an absolute hysterical delight to be with, and I've gotten to know you. So if you ever need anybody to roast you, I can't roast anybody. I can't. No. It's not my style. I would want to do like where you do put-ups, like
yeah. You're the best. You're so good.
Let me tell you why you're
anything.
The best. So not funny. Oh, you are the best host I have ever seen. Oh, I don't know how to make it funny.
Put up battles, that's funny. Well, I am, just so you know, I am rematching Parker Tighe in a roast battle coming up. I believe it's going to be the 27th, but keep an eye out for that information. I'm sure I'll be sharing the flyer on my page, so you can share it on your page. But Parker did hit me up about a rematch, so there will be.
Ah, dang. That'll be good. I'll be in town for that. I'm going to see my sister this week for a week, but I'll be back in town for that. So I want to come see that.
Nice.
And I want to come support you at Artifice. When is Artifice?
I believe it's going to be the 30th.
Oh, good. I'll be in town for that too.
Okay.
All right. So, well, I guess we part ways now until I see you tonight at Sunday Fun Day at Noreen's out on Tropicana. I think it is East Trop.
I don't know. I just GPS there. I follow the blue line there, Linda.
Yeah, we'll find each other and I'll see you there. Thank you so very much.
Thank you so much. This was so fun.
AJ Rivera, follow him.
That's me.
Yeah.
All right. Mighty Goofaw on Instagram, Mighty Goofaw on the Twitters and on the YouTubes.
Mighty Goofaw.
Yep. And AJ Rivera on Facebook.
Perfect. Do you want to have people to donate money to you? Do you have a GoFundMe?
I don't. On my Facebook is pinned the GoFundMe for the Ramirez family, for Ken Ramirez. So
Yes.
please definitely click on that. And if you can, please give as much as you can.
There we go, folks. Cameron Ramirez, one of us, and he lost his life due to a hit and run. And so please, like AJ Rivera says, go to the pinned post on your Facebook page that leads you right to the GoFundMe for Cameron Ramirez. You'd be very much missed. Let's help support
Much
him.
appreciated.
Awesome. Thank you. That's a great way to end. So I think I'll go now.
All righty. You have a great day.
Thanks for coming to my show. Bye.
Bye.
Love you lots.
Love you.